Hey guys, can you guess? Yep, third time. Okay, here we go. I've got the Sheglam Complexion Pro Long Lasting Breathable Matte Foundation. Okay, now shout out to Sheglam because they sell, yes, sell annoyingly, but still, it's better than buying the whole bottle. Foundation samples, okay? And they're not that expensive. The biggest thing is like shipping costs and all that. Is it worth it to you and that sort of thing? And to me, I feel like it is worth it to buy a sample because even if you have to pay a little bit for shipping, if you don't like it, you don't like it, and then you're not stuck with like a full bottle of foundation that you can't use, you don't like, and you can't return it because Sheglam is an online website that sells the product. So you can't just take it back to your local store and return it. So I feel like it's a good little option to have and worth it. So I have a plethora of foundation samples. I bought a bunch of them because I was not sure, but I have narrowed it down already to one of these two, Shell or Fair. Now in the, what is this? The Skinfluencer? Yeah, Skinfluencer. Oh my goodness. Skinfluencer Full Coverage Foundation Balm. I am in the shade Shell, which is almost a spot-on match. But in the Skinfinite Hydrating Foundation, I was Fair, okay? Which is just a tad more yellow, a tad lighter, just a tad. So I did look at both of them and compare them. And I do have a video on that if you are so interested. All right, so I'm going to just open these up and we're gonna see what's going on for shade. Okay, so this one is Fair. Let's see if we can just get a little bit out. I probably should have had like scissors or something fancy and professional, you know, to take care of this situation, but that's not how I roll, ladies. Like, if you're looking for someone that's fancy and professional, you should not be here. This is the wrong place to come. All right, so those packages did mock me a little bit, but I got them open and here we are. This one is the shade Fair and this one is the shade Shell. Honestly, like the Shell does look a little bit on the dark side, so I probably will use the shade Fair. But sometimes what happens is that like the Fair shade, because my neck is such a lighter shade than my face, it can look a little ghostly on me. So really, in reality, I probably could just mix these two. I won't, just because I'm not going to do that today. But so I think we're just going to use the shade Fair. All right, and so here it is. I'm going to let me wipe off the other one so it doesn't get mixed up in with the previous shade. All right, so I am just going to squeeze out a little bit more so we have enough to cover the full face. This feels creamy. Now it is claiming to be a matte foundation, and let me see if I can read. Let's see. Oh no, it doesn't have any information on there. It does have a 15% off coupon ID though on these little sample packs. So if you find out you like them, now you get 15% off. I did not know that. So that seems nice. All right, there's no claims on this. Maybe I'll try and put that in the description if I do remember. But yeah, it's creamy, but it still feels very thin, which I do like about foundations when they're thin. All right, so let's just get it on. I primed my face with this A+ Primer Spray for Smooth, Even Skin from Shop Miss A/AOA. All right. Got a hair. Cat hair. I have cats, as you can tell. Oh, where are they at? No, they're over there. Okay, so far, like, it doesn't look like ridiculously matte, but matter than the Skinfinite and matter than the Skinfluencer. I've got a couple of red spots today, namely around my nose, right down in there. And of course, we can gauge the coverage from my highly pigmented under eyes and eyelid. So far it feels really nice, like it feels very creamy, and oh my goodness, it actually looks like it's got decent coverage, good coverage. For the pigmentation, the redness, it looks like it's having a little tiny bit of trouble covering up that bit of redness right there. finger, I guess. It's a novel idea. Okay, so it's looking really good from my face to the mirror. Again, thin formula. I feel like because I have so much to cover, the contrast between what's underneath this and the foundation, it's going to look a little bit chalky is my prediction. I haven't looked at it up close yet, but we'll find out momentarily. That is my prediction though, so let's see. A little bit, yes, it looks a little bit chalky, but in future videos, I'm going to try a new sort of concealer technique, so maybe that won't matter too much. On the rest of my skin, however, it is looking matte-er than the other foundations, and on camera, like right now, before I change the settings to make it look more true to life, it is looking a lot more matte than even right here as I'm sitting in the sunlight, okay? So it looks, it's got like a tiniest, like natural, I would say natural glow to it, but it is matter than the other two foundations. So that I think is a good thing if you're looking for something more matte. I can't do full on dew. It does not work for my skin, okay? Or not my skin, maybe, well, maybe my skin. It just doesn't work for all my wrinkles, bags, texture, and discoloration. It makes me look worse. It makes me look more haggard, more drawn. And when I have a more natural finish to like soft matte, like velvety looking skin, that's when my skin looks the best. Now I know there's a big debate over, you know, youthful look versus, you know, non-youthful, and usually people will say, well, if it's real dewy, then that's youthful, so that's going to make you look better, you know, point blank. Not always, okay? And I find that to be true with like any setting spray. Even if it's like a mattifying setting spray, it will still like accentuate my bags, all my lines, any texture that I have. So I do prefer a more natural, velvety, soft, matte finish, satin finish, that sort of thing. Anything that's not too shiny, that doesn't make me look like a grease ball, okay? And also strategic shine, as I have said in the past. Like I don't mind a little bit of a cheek highlight. I don't mind, honestly, that's really the only highlight that I like, or like right in this area is fine. But a lot of times that's an issue as well, because if this is shiny, this just looks more hollow, okay? So that's where we're at right now. Let me go ahead and even out. We'll come back and I'll talk about it. Okay, so we've got the full face on today, and today I used here it is, the Sheglam Color Bloom Liquid Blush, but I also put it on my lips today, and it was nice. It gives you more of a matte look, but almost sort of like a stained look. Nice. One thing I will say about this blush though, and this is just an aside, since we're talking about Sheglam products anyway, I did not powder my face before I put this on, and I put like a dot right there, and it's very pigmented. So you only need a teeny tiny bit, and you can't let it sit. Like you have to blend that out almost immediately, or you'll have this almost like a stain. Like you can look at it now and it doesn't look like there's a stain or like a spot or anything, but I was blending it with my sponge. Like I was like, oh no, we just ruined this whole makeup look because I got this dot right there. It ended up being okay. Just saying, blend that stuff out quickly. All right, so I will say for the foundation itself, it's looking really good, and the coverage is really good as well. I didn't powder much. For those ladies out there that have a problem with powder, like nowadays that feels like everyone's like, don't you ever powder, it makes you whatever. I don't care. Like I powder all the time because I like that velvety soft look, okay? But this foundation didn't look like it needed much powder. Like it almost already had that sort of velvety soft look. I did powder my T-zone and under my eyes, but the coverage is really good. I'm not wearing very much concealer because of the coverage being so good, and like I feel like the shade is spot on, okay? So right now I'm gonna go ahead and try, I'm really gonna try to give an update at the end of the day, and we'll see how it worked out. Now and I guess it doesn't matter, I'll just give that disclaimer right up front. Like since it's not fully powdered, that might interfere with like the longevity of it, but we'll see what happens. But so far it is looking really good. And again, there's a 15% off coupon ID And this, it says this coupon is only applicable to the formal size of the Complexion Pro Long Lasting Breathable Matte Foundation. So I think that's kind of nice that you can get the samples, but then if you get the sample and you love it, you get a 15% off coupon. I think that's a great marketing strategy psychologically, because you know, even though you have to order it online and you might spend more than just what you spend for a sample, psychologically you're like, oh, I'm getting a good deal. But I do think technically it is a good deal. All right, so I will be back later on and we will do a little bit of a check-in at the end of the day. Okay, so it is the end of the day-ish. I've had this foundation on for 7 hours, I believe, at this point, and it's still looking good in my opinion. Now I am pretty shiny on my forehead, pretty oily, but I don't see too much breaking down. I was not easy on this foundation at all. I did everything that I normally would, and honestly I had a little bit of an allergic thing going on this afternoon, and I was blowing my nose and wiping my nose, and it really does not look bad. Like, my blush is still fully on. It's looking really good. Now, the only thing I didn't do, and like you can kind of see, like, this is from the foundation. I always know because I am using a different mascara today, but I always know when the foundation is a little too emollient because it'll smudge my mascara. Not bad at all though, I've had worse. So that's something to think about, and I did powder all that and everything, and I set it. So that is something to consider. All things considered though, I think this is a really good foundation. It's looking so good right now. Like, I can't tell you how, like, I put this foundation through a beating. Like, I didn't do anything, I wasn't easy on it at all. I didn't do anything to make it stay on. I just lived my normal life like I always do, like anybody might if they're wearing a foundation. Like, most people that go to work aren't sitting around like, oh, I can't touch my face because of my foundation. Most people just want the foundation to work without having to do too much work to get it to work. So I think as far as like longevity, this one is good. If you're oily at all, that's a lot of shine. So if I had a dewy foundation on, and I did powder this area, but if I had a dewy foundation, that would be twice as bad. I would be twice as greasy looking. Like, this is pretty shiny. Not too bad here, and even on my nose, but my forehead real shiny, okay? I don't mind that. To me, that just makes it look more natural. I prefer that I'm completely matte for the whole day, but that's just not really realistic. But I'm gonna say this is a pretty decent one because it held up really well. It didn't separate. I don't feel like it wore off weird, you know, it still looks really good in my opinion. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. Please don't forget to thumbs up, like, subscribe, ding my bell. First impression, I think this is a good one, and I have been really really impressed with all the Sheglam products. Like, I don't think there's a single one except for the mascaras that I was just like, ugh, you know, they've all been really good. Even like, they might not be my cup of tea, but they've all been really good products, I think. So thank you guys for watching again so much, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.